Hello my lovely friends, and welcome back to another frugal video. In today's video I want to talk to you about 15 frugal tips you can adopt this year when it comes to your food shopping. Now these are really practical and helpful tips that will help you if you're looking to cut down your spending on your groceries and save some money. In fact, these are the very tips I'm using in my own life that have helped me get my food bill down from £300 a month to just over £100 a month. So with that in mind, the first tip is to switch supermarkets and get the best deal. Instead of going to your local supermarkets for your food shop, consider purchasing the bulk of your food items from discount supermarkets like Lidl and Aldi. Just switching to Lidl and Aldi helped me cut my food shopping bill by half. And that's because I found that I could get my everyday essentials like fruit, veg and meat in good quality and at a significantly cheaper price. Let me know in the comments below, which one do you think is cheaper? Is Lidl or Aldi cheaper? Tip number 2. The next thing to do is to set a food budget. Now, having a spend limit on how much you can spend on food is one of the best tools for keeping your finances in order. And that's because this will help you make sure you do not get sidetracked with purchasing things that you don't need. Having a budget will encourage you to think about exactly what it is you need, because you know you have a finite amount available to get your food. Now, I've found that if I have a limited amount to spend with a clear list of things to buy, I'm less likely to get drawn in purchasing unnecessary things that are currently on discount or on sale in the supermarket. So have a set amount to spend and only stick to that. Alternatively, if you struggle with that option, you can actually use only cash to pay for your food items. This is definitely a sure way to ensure you only spend what you have on what you need. Tip number 3 is to look out for store brands. Now, many store brands tend to offer essentially the same quality as popular name brands, but at a much lower price. In fact, many store brand foods have been found to be just as good, or in some instances even better than their name brand competitors. For example, in blind tests and via customer reviews and testimonials. So before you pick up that branded item, consider swapping to a store brand and save yourself some money. Tip number 4 is to buy your necessities in bulk. Typically, when you buy your ingredients in large quantities, you tend to find that this reduces the unit price or the individual price. So for any items that you consider staples and you purchase on a regular basis, consider buying them in bulk and saving yourself some money. Personally, I like to purchase non-perishable food that we eat often enough in bulk because I know that they have a long shelf life and won't go bad soon. So I like to purchase rice, lentils and grains in bulk and just use them slowly throughout the year. Tip number 5, purchase as much of your food frozen. I found that purchasing frozen foods from berries to pizzas can not only last weeks longer than their fresh counterparts, but they also cost less. And for the most part, I found that they don't lose quality when I defrost them and use them. Choosing frozen food is also a great way to cut down on spoilage and waste, but at a much cheaper price. So this may be the money-saving food tip you have been looking for. Tip number 6 is to always save your leftovers. So whether it's a serving of potatoes from a home-cooked meal or a side of vegetables that didn't get eaten from a restaurant or from a takeaway, saving leftovers is a great money-saving idea. So whenever you find yourself with some excess portion of food, small or big, before you throw it away, consider saving them and eating them the next day or combining them in your next meal. Alternatively, you can also just enjoy them as a snack or a light meal. And whilst you are saving those leftovers, tip number 7, get creative with your leftovers. There are also plenty of ways to turn leftovers into new, exciting dishes. Repurposing food for meals to come is often easy to do and a great way to avoid waste. There's so many recipes online with repurposed leftovers, so you can just go ahead and check them out on Google, and I'm sure you can also look on YouTube and find lots of videos available. For example, when I have leftover rice, I like to reuse it in my next meal in a different format. One day I might have plain rice with a curry. Then the next day I will reuse the leftover rice and make an egg fried rice dish with something else. In fact, it's by reusing leftover food that I've come across some amazing new recipes. Tip number 8, grow your own food. Growing your own food at home can mean anything from planting a thriving year-round garden full of vegetables and fruits to last you a long time, all the way to cultivating a few pots and herbs on your kitchen windowsill. Try and guess which one it is that I do. Whether you choose a big or small operation, it will yield enjoyable homegrown food for a tiny initial cost. Another option to consider is if you have a bountiful harvest, why not give it out to your neighbors who I'm sure would genuinely really appreciate it. Alternatively, you can also just swap those plants and seeds with other green thumbs. Tip number 9, propagate your produce. Many foods can actually be planted straight away from the supermarket. Lettuce, for example, can be placed in water until it starts sprouting and then can be potted for the rest of the season. Potatoes can also be planted and used to propagate an entire batch. So before you throw away any vegetable scraps or vegetables that are seemingly about to go off, consider whether you can propagate them and reproduce more, and that will save you having to buy any more for a given time period, and of course, save you some money. Tip number 10, leave your kids at home when you go shopping. I know. While it might be nice to get the entire family involved on the food side of things, shopping trips can be tedious and long when you have little hands grabbing and begging for expensive and unhealthy food items. If you're able to, consider leaving your kids at home when you go to the supermarket, and that will allow you to focus on what you'll need to get in the quickest time possible. It also allows you to take time comparing prices and picking quality products without having someone nagging that you are taking way too long. Tip number 11, have a dedicated takeaways night. Now, I love a good takeaway. It's convenient, it's quick, and it's an easy option. And I usually have a budget for 1 or 2 takeaways for the month. You know, I have to do my part for the economy, right? But this year, I'm on a no-spend year and takeaways are just not an option. I've implemented a takeaway night once a week where I will make our favorite takeaways at home. And what I've found is that cooking takeaways at home is less expensive than eating out or ordering food to go. So I've decided to take the time to learn a variety of dishes to satisfy my craving for takeaway. And the added benefit is that it is much cheaper. And for the most part, whenever I cook these, I have enough ingredients to last me several meals. Tip number 12, stock up the cupboards or pantry with long life items whenever there's a sale. When it comes to long shelf life food that come in jars or tins, or dried food like pasta and rice, take advantage of low prices and stock up on them when they are on sale. Now, this is handy when you need to make food at a moment's notice. Having a full cupboard will ensure that there's always an inexpensive meal option on hand. Tip number 13, make your own stocks and sauces. Sauces, stocks, broths can become really costly when you buy them from the shops, but you can actually make homemade stock by saving vegetable scraps such as mushroom stems, herb stems, end of onions, stray carrots. Put them in a bag in the freezer to use them as the base. Then, once you've made the stock, you can freeze it in ice cube trays and put it in the freezer for easy use whenever you need them. Tip number 14, store and use those excess free condiments. Have you ever considered saving all those extra packets of ketchup, barbecue sauce that you get every time you order a takeaway? You can actually save those free condiments and use them whenever you need them. You might actually be surprised how much those individual servings can add up over time. And best case scenario, that can actually lead to you buying less condiments at the supermarket. Maybe you might even find that you no longer need to buy entire bottles of ketchup because you have enough sachets to keep you for a long time. Tip number 15, make meal planning and meal prepping part of your routine. Meal planning and prepping for the week is a great way to not only become organized when it comes to food shopping, but it's actually a great tool to ensure you keep unnecessary items off your grocery list while maximizing the ingredients you already have on hand. Just remember to make sure you work in recipes that will make the most of any leftovers and straggling ingredients. Now, let me know in the comments below if you have any frugal shopping habits that you have used that have saved you money. please make sure to hit that like button and to subscribe so that you don't miss any future uploads, as I am sharing my journey to financial freedom and early retirement, and all the tips that I am learning, I am giving them to you too. Also, don't forget to check out these videos, which will show you all the frugal living tips I am currently implementing in my life that have saved me thousands of pounds. Thank you so much for all your support, and I will see you in the next video, and of course in the comments below. Do take care. Bye.